Are you seeing a bunch of houses on the market have to reduce their price? And maybe now you're wondering, is Sarasota in the middle of a housing market correction? Well, let's break it down. Hi, I'm Nick with the Iannitti Group. Want to come at you with a real quick housing update for the month of June in Sarasota. So real quick, are we in a housing market correction? Well, it may feel like that, but the answer is probably no. I think what we're actually seeing is a lot of sellers basically who are on the market with an inflated price, and they're probably not getting the best advice. They may not be working with a top line real estate agent who can clearly articulate to them that we are no longer in the same market that we were at the beginning of the year. Things have changed, and that's largely due to the increase in our interest rates. Okay. Basically, keep in mind that for every single percentage point of mortgage rate increase, that decreases a buyer's purchasing power by 10%. So what we're seeing is a lot of people being priced out of what's going on. Keep in mind also too, when we're talking about a correction, Investopedia defines a correction as a decline of 10% or greater in the price of a security, asset, or financial market. So far, we have not seen that happen. We have not seen home values decrease. We have seen some sellers have had to decrease their inflated price, but that's probably more a reflection of them and not actually our overall market. Keep in mind that most economists are calling for about 9% appreciation here this year. Our seller traffic here in Florida has actually started to get a little weak. We've actually seen it come by a little bit here, and I'll talk about that in a second. However, our buyer demand here does still tend to be a little strong here in Florida. Keep in mind, nationwide, it's getting kind of battered, and even buyers here are feeling the effects of increasing rates. So what's ahead? Well, typically what we're seeing right now is this is actually a situation of us, kind of the market really normalizing. I think what's going on is, since the pandemic happened, it really poured gas on this limited inventory situation that we had. People were able to migrate and work from anywhere, and we saw things just go, absolutely on fire, white hot market. We're still in a hot market. We may not be white hot, and we're still going to have some inventory concerns, but we're probably going to have more of a normalized, balanced market as far as appreciation, which is good because the 18% appreciation that we've been experiencing year over year has not been sustainable. So a couple of things real quick. Realtor.com basically says the nation's still suffering from a housing shortage, which reached, crisis proportions. That has not changed. And now many more millennials are reaching the age where they want to start to consider home ownership. Both of those are going to, keep upward pricing pressure on the housing market. Realize that millennials, when we talk about that, they make up 43% of the buyer pool. So that's pretty huge. You've probably heard a lot of talk about recession lately. Keep in mind headlines, they're really good at terrifying, not good at clarifying. But if you watch any of my previous videos, especially right at the beginning of the pandemic around 2000, really, when you talk about recession, historically since 1980, over the past 6 recessions, they are not directly correlated to home prices, okay? In fact, out of half of the previous recessions, home prices have been able to appreciate over 6%, right? 2008, we did have, obviously a big reduction there, but keep in mind that this particular recession was brought on by a crash of the housing market. So in this particular instance, they were directly related, but historically, recessions are not related to home prices. When we look at Sarasota housing market update numbers, realize these are for single family homes. They're all median numbers and they are county-wide. Everything above the line is our lagging indicators telling us where the market's been. Everything below the line are our leading indicators telling us where the market is going. So sales price for single family homes was up 21% year over year. Our active market time is about 6 days. That's remained unchanged. Our inventory though, keep in mind, this is up 71% year over year, but realize we're still at 1.2 months worth of inventory. We need 6 months of inventory for a healthy market, okay? This was also some good news here. Our active and new listings are actually increased. I think this is a lot of sellers, opportunistic sellers, seeing these price corrections, seeing buyer demand slowing down, and they may be thinking that this might be around the top of the market, so they're trying to get out while the getting is good. We'll see how that works out. But again, pending and sold listings are still down. again, just due to our overall, lack of inventory. And now that's being coupled with a decrease in buyer demand. So anyway, if you have questions about what these numbers mean, if you're curious if this is a good time for you to sell or buy, or what your home is worth, what's happening in your neighborhood, please reach out. I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you. And that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, who you choose to negotiate for you absolutely matters.